been off the team.
DeWanna Bonner is officially missing in action for quite some time now.
DeWanna Bonner is on the way out.
It is looking real spooky for DeWanna Bonner and the future with her in Indiana.
Newsflash, 2 minutes ago, DeWanna Bonner was fired from the Indiana Fever. Fans are in disbelief. Colleagues are surprised. Insiders, too. They're muttering that basketball has nothing to do with this. The aspect that no one anticipated, however, is that a private locker room video was just leaked. And what it reveals has the power to ruin careers and ruin reputations. According to insider accounts, Bonner's wife, Alyssa Thomas, was unaware of this development. She is completely devastated, according to sources, and ready to quit the WNBA completely. And now, the front office of the Fever is completely under lockdown. However, this is only the start. Because the entire WNBA is on edge as we reveal a secret rivalry, an enigmatic disappearance, and a revenge plan over the course of the next.
And rare Caitlin Clark is.
Caitlin Clark is a gifted player.
Caitlin is the one.
She's the biggest basketball star in the world.
There's nobody that does what Caitlin Clark.
Few minutes. Therefore, don't even consider turning away, since this film will completely upend your preconceived notions about DeWanna Bonner. What's the worst? She had been set up. Let's get started. It appeared to be just another change of season from the outside. A seasoned celebrity. A new roster full of promise. A new beginning. But behind the doors of the locker room, the keg of powder was awaiting a spark. The WNBA legend DeWanna Bonner, who is renowned, commanding, and a real threat on the court, didn't just show up at the Indiana Fever. She entered a minefield. What about the first landmine? The team were split in two by her entrance. Let's turn the tape back. Bonner has recently finished the Connecticut Sun with a strong season. She was the seasoned presence that kept things tight under pressure and was the center of their offensive. However, rumors that something wasn't right started to circulate towards the end of the previous season. According to insiders, Bonner had become emotionally aloof and distant. And even her wife, Alyssa Thomas, was allegedly concerned about her mindset. Then, suddenly, the following information was revealed. On her way to the Indiana Fever was DeWanna Bonner.
All the Fever posts on her IG except one.
When I have looked through DeWanna Bonner's Instagram, I did notice that it was mostly her pre-game fits and big moments of her career.
Jason Whitlock said DeWanna Bonner disappeared for personal reasons. WNBA seems a little more casual than men's professional league. Come and go as you please. I'm new to the league. This is common question.
No news conference, no farewell. Sometimes you have to lose everything. To find who's really with you, reads the description of a mysterious Instagram image. Fans were taken aback. Why abandon Alyssa? Why sign up for the Fever? Well, since she had no other option. It has now been confirmed via an anonymous front office leak that Bonner was fired from Connecticut following a quiet vote among coworkers and employees, many of whom claimed her behavior had become unbearable. She made the locker room colder than the scoreboard. One assistant coach reportedly told a reporter. Indiana stepped in at that point, but not out of admiration. Desperate. The Fever were working quickly to rebuild. The team's media circus went crazy after they signed Caitlin Clark. Sales of tickets soared, deals for TV came in. The brand had a radiant appearance. The basketball, though, it was disorganized, chaotic, inept. They required organization, experience, a capable leader. So they took Bonner as a chance. Initially, it was a logical move. Place a generational rookie next to a distinguished veteran. Allow one to guide the other. Correct? False. Due to Bonner's absence as a mentor, she took control. And everyone sensed it as she took the court. Bonner allegedly failed to pass the ball to Clark once during the first practice scrimmage. Later that day, a reporter asked Bonner, she has to earn her touches. Bonner snapped. Caitlin. Always composed, she simply grinned and remarked, she's passionate. I honor that. However, insiders claim that Clark was devastated. Outside of the court, the two hardly spoke. Bonner never went to team dinners. She didn't show up for the voluntary film sessions. The situation worsened. An assistant coach was informed by several colleagues that they felt as though they were living in DeWanna's world and that she yelled at newcomers. At strategy sessions, she rolled her eyes, treated employees as if they weren't important. Then followed the notorious incident on the team bus. During a road trip to Chicago, Bonner reportedly snapped at assistant coach Danielle Pauling. Witnesses heard her shout, "We would still be behind by 30 if this is how you guys managed the Suns." The tension escalated to an unbearable level. Players met behind closed doors, but Bonner was not present. They talked about her disposition, her seclusion, her seeming disdain for Caitlin. And in the center of it, too, the team's golden child, Aaliyah Boston, is reported to have stated, "We're no longer a team. We are the backup dancers for DeWanna." That quotation swept through the company like wildfire. Coaches even began to whisper, "Is she worth the drama?" However, Bonner wasn't a moron. She was aware that something was going on. She began gathering receipts at that point. Screenshots, talks, voice memos. She began to distance herself from teammates even more. Rumors also spread as she retreated. Bonner was allegedly intending to leak information to the media. According to one employee, she was threatening to go public about the internal favoritism she showed to Caitlin Clark. According to another, the most unsettling rumor, though, Bonner has started speaking with opposing teams, as long as the contract is in effect. This leads us back to the present. The Indiana Fever did more than simply erode people's faith. They became unruly. They were worried about what would occur if Bonner lingered for even another day. Thus, without prior notice or media coverage, they took the unimaginable action. DeWanna Bonner was sacked by them. However, as you will see later, just one choice would cause problems. And what crawled out first? Betrayal. Everything fell apart in a single electrifying moment that wasn't even meant to be seen by the public. A covert recording of a private altercation in the Fever's locker room was made public. And it caught the emotional outburst that nobody was prepared for. But we need to go back a few days to fully comprehend the explosion. The team were preparing for their major televised game, which was intended to commemorate the Fever's new era. The day of the media was filled with smiles and group photos. It was Caitlin Clark who was beaming. Boston Aaliyah was joking. DeWanna Bonner, too. She appeared to be seeing right through everyone. It caught the attention of the media. Co-workers took note. However, nobody knew what was simmering behind her quiet. The filming session followed. According to insiders, Bonner criticized the coaching staff during the video review, saying they were creating plays that babysit Caitlin rather than pushing her like a true pro. According to reports, one colleague clapped back stating, "We're creating something new." Perhaps you might notice that if you weren't so mired in the past, there was silence in the room. Bonner got to his feet. Additionally, her breathing was the only sound audible for 5 seconds. Shay said, "You're the future, huh?" As she turned to face Clark. Let's see how you respond to actual heat after that. Later that night, Bonner declined to participate in team drills during warm-ups. She was asked to join by the staff. She declined. She was benched for the first half of the game that evening. No justification. No harm. Just ... benched. She completely avoided media after the game. Additionally, 2 sources claim that she did not attend the team flight. There was a snap. This is where things start to go crazy. An audio tape from a locker room emerged less than 48 hours later, leaked, hazy, but relaxing. Bonner yells at the beginning, "You're not prepared for this league. For this team, you're not prepared." Caitlin's voice timidly replies, "I'm just trying to help," but Bonner interrupts, saying, "You're trying to be the face. What about that crown? It is not your property." Then there was mayhem. Steps, shouting, lockers smashing. Someone yelling, "Switch that off." A whistle, more yelling. There was stillness. The internet took off in a matter of minutes. Did Bonner just accuse Caitlyn of something? His war, not just tension? What was the reason behind her initially filming this? At that point, it reached the front offices. The general manager of the Fever summoned an urgent staff meeting right away. Security looked at the video. The players were dragged away. Phones were examined. Screenshots were cleaned. But what about the harm? Completed already. Then came the unexpected turn of events. A purported intern from within the Fever organization contacted many sports media sites with an anonymous email. Screenshots from a private text exchange amongst Fever coaching staff were included in the email. The unsettling revelation from those texts was, "We've lost control. Bonner is erratic. She is threatening to divulge information. Weeks ago, we ought to have benched her." The league, however, forced us to hold back for show. PR will not be able to handle this if she blows up on Clark. The brand will be ruined. The whole WNBA fandom went crazy with just one word. Was DeWanna Bonner buried rather than just benched to keep the WNBA's new golden child? Safe does respect for veterans take precedence over Caitlyn Clark's marketability. This is where things start to get really gloomy. Bonner discovered a clause in Caitlyn's contract: priority starting time and endorsement protection. Read another tweet from a BONNER account purportedly belonging to a Fever employee. It was to remain confidential. Fans already want explanations. Was more than just playtime promised to Caitlyn Clark? Was she given authority? Was Bonner overly knowledgeable? Yes, according to insiders, which is why the team responded quickly. It wasn't a basketball choice to fire him. Performance wasn't the point. Containment was the key. Before DeWanna Bonner could say anything, they were attempting to silence her. But you know what? It was too late now. An image of a heavy M, manila envelope with the caption, "Plan B, in case they try me." The caption, "You were put to the test. The time has come." The WNBA community was devastated. What is contained in the envelope? What is Bonner actually aware of? And what about the others? Rachel Nichols of ESPN said on her podcast a few hours later, "I've seen part of what's in that folder. We're dealing with one of the largest sports scandals in recent memory, if even half of it is accurate." Then the backlash ensued. Officially, Bonner was fired, but not with the customary deference. No news release, no post of gratitude. Her name was discreetly taken down from the team's website. And there was nothing but mayhem after that. Players from the past began to voice their opinions. Angel McCoughtry, "You guys threw away a legend like garbage." Tina Charles, "When money takes center stage, this is what happens." The WNBA Players Association was tagged by fans who wanted them to get involved. There were rumors of a potential boycott led by players, and Bonner said nothing during this whole ordeal. She didn't post until late in the evening, only for words. No picture, not a video. You decided on the storm. In less than an hour, that post had over 2 million views. And it was pretty evident that this isn't the end of it. Because what's going to happen next? It's more than a PR crisis. It goes beyond a simple dispute. It's a reckoning. The whole WNBA landscape was sent into an unimaginable tailspin just when fans believed things couldn't get much worse. Since DeWanna Bonner's dramatic firing was more than just a controversy, this one just ignited the match on a ticking time bomb. Everything changed when a 12-part thread was posted on a private Twitter account connected to a known WNBA insider. Just hours after Bonner's mysterious "You chose the storm" message went viral. Each tweet was more astounding than the last. With the thread title being "The Fever Files," how Indiana betrayed DeWanna Bonner to protect the Golden Girl. Tweet 1. The Fever front office staff allegedly discussed limiting DeWanna's Media exposure in order to keep Caitlin Clark front and center in internal emails. Tweet 4. Bonner and a team assistant have an unconfirmed text chat in which she questions bluntly, "Are they benching me to highlight Caitlin?" "It's not about you," the assistant answers. "It has to do with the brand." Tweet 7. The Nike deal is on the line, according to a purported screenshot from an executive Slack channel. Caitlin's story must be flawless. The last tweet. Phase-out plan, veteran transition strategy, Q2-2025 is the title of a leaked boardroom presentation. Slide. Can you guess whose name was at the top? BONNER. The internet took off. Hashtag phase-out plan became a global trend in a matter of minutes. Every slide was being broken down in Instagram live feeds. Theoretically, Bonner had discovered a business coup based on TikTok videos, including dramatic music. The video then abruptly stopped playing. At 3:17 a.m., a 3-minute substantially edited video was posted from the WNBA exposed anonymous YouTube channel M. The video was blurry and had the headline, "Watch. Caitlin Clark crying after DeWanna. Bonner confrontation, hidden camera footage, low resolution, perhaps captured on camera in the locker room using a concealed phone. Bonner shouting, 'They're using you, Caitlin.' It's audible in it. Shh. You are their puppet, even though you believe you are winning." And Caitlin whispers, "I didn't ask for any of this," while crying. Then, boom. In real time, the WNBA fanbase broke apart. Team Bonner supporters called for justice, saying they silenced her when she tried to warn Caitlin. Supporters of Team Caitlin screamed manipulation. Bonner is tormenting her, but she's just a child trying to play. And in the midst of all the confusion, Thomas, Alyssa Bonner's spouse. The Connecticut Sun's center, renowned for being silent in the face of controversy. So far, 8:02 a.m. She told the truth. She tweeted, "Simply put, you weren't prepared for it. No name, no tags." However, everyone was aware. And if you believe that to be explosive, get ready. Because what happened next? The soil was scorched. Special report with the headline, DeWanna Bonners. Representatives claim evidence of favoritism. Financial tampering within WNBA franchises was broadcast by ESPN at 12 o'clock, interfering according to sources. Bonner's team possessed contracts, emails, and notes that purportedly revealed some rookies receiving illegal bonuses in exchange for media attention. Some teams have veteran quiet clauses that are intended to reduce elder stars' screen time and interviews. PR performance incentives that are directly linked to the reputation of particular athletes, with Caitlin being the most important. Is it true that any of this? It does more than merely make the fever go away. It ruins the WNBA reputation. The WNBA commissioner made the following evasive statement that afternoon. "We are aware of unverified claims and are conducting an internal review. We are dedicated to equity and support our athletes." However, the fans didn't believe it. The league's post's most popular comment, "You all were aware. You simply didn't anticipate the storm going public." Then the most unexpected turn of events occurred. Bonner's agent, who has remained silent thus far, made a shocking revelation on live television. DeWanna was offered hush money. She declined. Things became ugly at that point. Wait, what? Keep quiet. Cash. The agent claims that Bonner received a 6-figure settlement. Offered to quietly retire in the middle of the season. She declined, and after a week, she was placed on the bench, days later, dismissed. The pieces of the puzzle were starting to fit together. However, fresh drama broke out from within another team as the Fever's walls were closing in. Once more, from an unidentified account, a voice message that was leaked from a Connecticut Sun group chat was discovered. An unidentified player said, "At is going to walk. She is enraged. Her wife is done because they messed with her." Insiders are now speculating that Alyssa Thomas might be getting ready to demand a trade and boycott the remainder of the season. Should that occur, one team won't be the only one affected. It will have an impact on the whole WNBA. Bonner, meanwhile, says nothing. However, her bio on Twitter was altered. It now says, "Greater than the league. The last straw was delivered," by a former Fever player who DM'd a well-known sports blog with the following: "There's still more. She has only just begun. What she hasn't yet made public will destroy executives." The internet is on fire because of that line. What else is? DeWanna in possession of? And who else is involved? What time will she attack next? There won't be a storm. It has already arrived. What about the following chapter? It could potentially ruin the game. A digital tsunami ensued if DeWanna Bonner's termination was the seismic event. Twitter, or should we say X, turned into a full-fledged battlefield within minutes of the leaked video. Burner accounts and shocking claims. TikTok lost its mind. The number of Reddit threads increased exponentially. Bonner's leaked quotes were being cut into dramatic montage edits for Instagram Reels. Hashtag Justice for Bonner, hashtag Free Alyssa, hashtag Fever Cover-Up, hashtag WNBA Gate. These hashtags began trending all over the world. And even casual fans who hadn't watched a single WNBA game this season were now following every update. What about the opinions? Completely divided. Unhinged Team Bonner fans. These were the ardent supporters. The first ones, those who viewed DeWanna Bonner as a truth-teller, who shunned politics rather than as toxic. They were saying this: they blackballed her because she refused to submit to Caitlyn. This is nothing new. They also treated NBA veterans in this manner. To create renown, they obliterate excellence. Since half of these girls were in middle school, Bonner has been a part of this league. They'd pay her back like this. Then, from a verified journalist, came the most scathing tweet to date. This would be considered leadership if DeWanna Bonner were a man, but she's angry because she's a woman. Suddenly, there is a scandal. The retweets. It's more than 500,000 in 3 hours. Team Caitlyn on the defense in the meantime. Caitlin Clark's admirers were incensed, defensive, and concerned that their hero was being used as a scapegoat. This was not what she requested. She is only a novice. Bonner approached her initially. Caitlin refrained from punching. Now you're pointing the finger at the gal who brought in viewers when this league asked for them. The silence was suddenly broken by Caitlin's own camp. In a tweet that has since been removed, her representative stated, "We support all women in this league. However, sabotage and legacy frustration are not the same thing. The backlash, instant." Her team was accused of deflecting, gaslighting, and hiding behind PR walls. NBA players began to voice their opinions as well. Industry titans voiced their opinions, presenting the heavyweights. Never one for drama, Sue Bird shared a subdued yet eerie Instagram story. A dark screen. White text, "Preserve your heritage," even in the event that your name is removed from the banners. Rarely taking sides. Candace Parker tweeted, "Some people are too real for a fake system." There was absolutely no holding back from Skylar. Diggin Smith. They informed us that the league was evolving. I suppose they meant the worst. This isn't just a player being fired, one ESPN pundit stated bluntly during a live broadcast. What the league has just created might be destroyed by this demolition of a symbol. The Players Union, getting ready for combat. The Women's National Basketball Players Association, or WNBPA, issued an official statement by 4 p.m. saying, "We are looking into the reasons behind DeWanna Bonner's expulsion from the Indiana Fever team. We support our players, both current and former, and will not put up with abuse, coercion, or silence." And what about the last sentence? We'll reveal if this was a hit job. The fans went crazy. Expose them all. We need a full documentary now. Comments flooded in. Where are you, Netflix? Rather than a cover-up, Bonner deserves a farewell tour. Even once neutral media sites such as ESPN and Bleacher Report started to change their tone, previously praising the Fever's young, fresh energy, morning broadcasts suddenly posed challenging questions. Did the Fever put celebrity before justice? Are veterans no longer needed in the modern WNBA? Did Caitlin Clark's achievement come at the expense of another person's legacy? Undisputed had a particularly well-known TV moment where a panelist slammed the desk and declared, "This isn't just messy. This is wicked. They took advantage of her." After that, they left her, and they assumed she would remain silent. No, not DeWanna. Then the protests started. New shockwaves struck the league just as the dust was beginning to settle. For Connecticut, Suns players wore tape around their mouths and the hashtag Justice for Bonner around their wrists during the team's warm-up. Commentators clumsily refrained from bringing it up. However, social media, I caught it right away. In less than 2 hours, video snippets received 5 million views. Supporters began sharing protest images, tagging the WNBA and covering their mouths with tape. Finally, late at night, a change occurred. The Reinstate DeWannaBonner.org petition was established. Examine the Fever. In 6 hours, it reached 100,000 signatures. The league's PR dilemma is no longer the only one it faces. It is experiencing a crisis of existence. And right in the middle of it, they attempted to silence a woman. Here's the actual twist, though. This war's loudest voice hasn't even been heard yet, due to DeWanna Bonner's continued silence. However, everyone is aware that she is waiting for the ideal opportunity. And when she does say something, the league may not be able to control the truth. It's just when everyone believed that the worst was over. DeWanna Bonner took the initiative. Her official Instagram account shared a black and white video at precisely 11:11 p.m. without any effects, music, or a caption. There was only one thing: Bonner facing a table. On it, one USB drive. Then she started talking, slowly, consciously. All eyes were fixed on the camera. They made an effort to silence me. They made an effort to silence us. I waited for them to confess. They didn't. So I will immediately. That concludes the video. No names, no proof yet, only a danger. However, what are the consequences? Nuclear. The internet was in a frenzy in less than 10 minutes. And what is on the USB? Bonner just went completely crazy. Oh my own God. Is no longer a game. A well-known WNBA insider then tweeted a few minutes later, "It's happening. It's on the drive, is visible to me. It's true. It's terrifying. It extends to the very top." The league was rocked by what transpired next, because Bonner had more than just audio in the locker room. She had more than simply contract leaks. She possessed covert recordings of conversations in the front office, where executives allegedly talked about buying off media partners to minimize bad Bonner stories, putting rookie stories ahead of the team's real chemistry, suppressing interviews in which Caitlin Clark was described as not ready. However, that was not even the most shocking revelation. A file purportedly named July Blackout allegedly includes audio of a WNBA executive telling a team representative to keep the Bonner situation internal or risk losing sponsorship. That's more than just dubious. Corporate corruption is what? That is, the league is currently in a panic. Lawyers have been sent, according to sources. The WNBPA is getting ready for a potential legal battle. Sponsors panicking quietly. According to reports, Nike, Gatorade, and even ESPN have asked for internal briefings on the upcoming developments. What if the contents of that USB are compromised? This scandal goes beyond sports. The scandal has the potential to destroy the league. And just when you thought there was nothing more that could happen, a fresh account on X showed up. And the first post from @TruthDropperWNBA. She wasn't by herself. We will also be attending. We have video. And our silence is over. It attracted more than 300,000 followers in a matter of minutes. It was followed by verified athletes, media. Outlets even followed it. Now this is more than simply DeWanna's battle. It's a rebellion. Players, employees, and insiders who have been observing, waiting, and gathering in an anonymous manner. And now their hiding is over. We release the first file tomorrow at noon. The statement concluded with a warning. We'll clean the house if the league doesn't. The WNBA is completely under lockdown. Interviews are being canceled by PR teams. The team's social media accounts are no longer active. League offices, too. Utterly quiet. However, it is very evident that this is far from over. DeWanna Bonner became the storm rather than merely surviving it. What about the following wave? The league might not be exposed. It may destroy it with fire. It's your time now. What do you believe to be the true situation here? Was DeWanna Bonner the only one with the guts to criticize the entire system? Or was she a problem player? Was she fired by the Indiana Fever because of her performance? Or was this a planned takedown to preserve Caitlin Clark's tidy, lucrative image and a carefully manicured media narrative? And the biggest question of all, what's on that USB drive? What secrets do the WNBA fear so much that they would silently obliterate one of their greatest legends? We're reading all of your theories, so please share them in the comments section. Do you support hashtag Team Bonner? In the chat, put "She warned them" and press the like button. Or are you a member of hashtag Team Fever? Declare it's just business. Additionally, are you still undecided? You haven't seen anything yet? I assure you. It's because the first file drops tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and it might make all the difference. So hit the subscribe button, press the bell, because we'll be dissecting the Rebel account, the leaked recordings, and the alleged league-wide cover-up that might permanently alter women's sports in our upcoming episode. Is more than just a tale now. It's a revolution. And it began with, just for words, you chose the storm. See you on the front lines.